Welcome back to my channel, viewers. I always appreciate your comments and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Today's video, we're going to talk about the principles of faith. There are 13 principles of faith and they are the foundations of faith for the Jews and the Gentiles, which is Noahides. So let's take a little look at what these 13 principles of faith actually are. We'll go through this step by step, and we want to look at also what does this mean for Gentiles and Noahides alike. So I'm just going to go through now the 13 principles of this faith. They are fundamental principles of belief, and they are derived from the Torah. And so I'm just going to read them to you. Their belief in the existence of the Creator, who is perfect in every manner of existence and is the primary cause of all that exists. The belief in God's absolute and unparalleled unity, so there's only one God for us, one. The belief in God's non-corporeality, nor that he will be affected by any physical occurrences such as movement, rest, or dwelling. So in other words, he has no physical form. The belief in God's eternity, so God is actually eternal, no beginning, no end. The imperative to worship God exclusively and no foreign false gods. So there's no middleman, intermediary, or assistance to God. The belief that God communicates with man through prophecy. The belief in the primacy of the prophecy of Moses, our teacher. The belief in the divine origin of Torah. So there's nothing other than Torah, no additions, no nothing. Torah. The belief in God's omniscience and providence. So all-powerful, all-knowing, his divine will. The belief in divine reward and retribution. The belief in the arrival of the Messiah or Mashiach in the Messianic times. And last but not least, the belief in the resurrection of the dead. So there is a sort of a prayer that goes with this. It's called Ani Mamin, or I believe, which will, if I have time, I'll come to that, and we might look at that the end of this video. So what we're going to look at here now is that the first principle of faith is the purpose of creation. That's where I believe with complete faith that the Creator, blessed be his name, is the creator and guide of all created beings, and that he alone has made, does make, and will make all things. So that's just to give you an idea of where we're at now. So these principles of faith we can establish are Torah-based, and that means that they are applicable to both Jews and Gentiles. And so we're going to look at now and ask ourselves, well, where did these come? I mean, how did they get formulated, or how did they derive at these 13 principles of faith? So I am briefly explaining this. There's a lot more information, but I did have a question actually a couple of weeks ago about what are these actual principles of faith. There's 13 of them. How do they apply to Noahides, Gentiles? So that's why I'm doing this video. All right, let's go on now. So where did these principles of faith come from? Well, the foundations of the Torah of faith, it comes from it was compiled by, I should say, a rabbi called Rabbi Moses ben Maimon. And he lived in the century of 1135 until 1204 in Common Era time. He is also known by the name Maimonides. He is referred to by the acronym for his name, which is Rambam. It's he has written these 13 foundations in his commentary on the Mishnah. He wrote originally, I'm just giving you a bit of background, he wrote this in Arabic while he was living in Egypt. It was later translated into Hebrew, and the text here is in English translation from the Hebrew version. Nevertheless, it conveys Rambam's original intent and meaning. So I just wanted to give you an idea where this came from. And many of you, all Jews and many Gentiles, Noahides, would know the name by Rambam. They know of him, and his actual name is Rabbi Moses ben Maimon. So he formulated these 13 principles, so to speak. And so they're kind of like a testament of us saying we believe, and so the name, I believe. Now, I'm going to go through these principles very, very, very briefly. So this is just a snapshot. This is not a study by any means, but it will clear up some misunderstandings and explain what we mean when we talk about the 13 principles of faith. So these are based on 13 principles of faith formulated by Rambam in his contemporary on the Mishnah. And so the first principle is, I believe with complete faith that Sorry, I beg your pardon. I'll come back to that. So the 13 principles of faith, we'll go on now. Fundamental principles are belief in the existence of the Creator, who is perfect in every manner of existence and is the primary cause of all that exists. Now, that is a principle of creation. In other words, that we're saying that the first principle is the principle of creation. And now the next principles, 2, 3, and 4, which I'm going to read out, are actually about prayer. So this is interesting. And it says, the belief in God's absolute and unparalleled unity. So there's only one God for us. Number 3, the third principle, the belief in God's non-corporeality, nor that he will be affected by any physical occurrence such as movement, rest, or dwelling. So he has no physical form. That's what that is saying. Number 4, the belief in God's eternity. So God is eternal. You can't find a beginning, and there's certainly not going to be an end. So that principle 2, 3, and 4 relate to the topic of prayer. Now we're going on to move on now, and we're going to look at principles 5 to 8. And this is in relation to the study of Torah, where appropriate for Jews and where appropriate for Gentiles. And it says, number 5, the imperative to worship God exclusively and no foreign false gods. So, as we said, no middle person. The number 6, the belief that God communicates with man through prophecy. Number 7, the belief in the primacy of the prophecy of Moses, our teacher. Number 8, the belief in the divine origin of the Torah. So that's pretty. These are subheadings, so, there's a lot more to each of these principles, but just to give you an idea and to answer the questions of those that sort of wonder what or get mixed up about what are the principles of faith. Now, number 9 through to 13, the last one, is all about the process of redemption. So let's move on there. So number 9, the belief in the immutability of the Torah. So there's nothing other than Torah, no plus, no minus. Number 10, the belief in God's omniscience and providence. So he's all powerful, all knowing, his divine will guides, guards, and predicts and formulates everything. Number 11, the belief in divine reward and retribution. Number 12, the belief in the arrival of the Messiah and the Messianic era. And number 13, the last one, the belief in the resurrection of the dead. So that is very briefly the subheadings of the 13 principles of faith. So it says here that it is sometimes they say the ani mamin, I believe. So we might say that. I think it would be a nice thing to do. And we'll bring that to, I'll just check I haven't missed anything. Oh, first of all, before we get to saying I believe, there is also this book which I want to draw to your attention. It's written by Rabbi Dr. Shimon Cowan, who lives in Australia. This is a very much in-depth look at the 13 principles of faith. It's an extra layer to look at and vastly more informative than my simple explanation in this video. However, if you're just starting to learn about the 13 principles of faith, you probably wouldn't want to start reading this book first. It is the next layer of understanding, etc. Beautifully written, and a wonderful author and Rabbi Dr. Shimon Cowan of Melbourne, Australia. Now, on page 42 of his book, he has this lovely little diagram here about the principles of faith and how the 13 of them rotate round, see there, and then go up. So that's a lovely way of looking at it. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And there is, if you want, I'll do this now while it's fresh in my mind. I'm videoing under difficulties today. It's like sitting in a box. So I had to turn the air conditioning off because it was a bit noisy while I'm making this video. So if I look a bit hot and flustered, I am. If you are wanting to look at this book, to purchase this book and study further, which I encourage you to do, then bearing in mind it's specifically written for Jewish people, but there is much that we as Noahides or Gentiles can glean from this that is appropriate for us to understand. So now here is where you can email Rabbi Cowan and regarding purchasing this book. Now I will try and fit that into the description box, which will be down below, and therefore you can follow up on that. It's not a large book, but it's action-packed, so it's a great addition to have in your bookcase. Now, to finish this off, I will just read what is called Ani Mamin, or I believe. Now, I will also put a link in the description box where you can access a copy of this on kabad.org. And also there'll be a link to go to asknoah.org and see some additional information about the principles of faith there, 13 principles of faith. So don't forget to look in the description box. So I will say the I believe now to finish this up. And it sort of goes through the principles 1, 2, 3, 4, and right through to 13. So I will, number 1, I believe with complete faith that the Creator, blessed be his name, is the creator and guide of all the created beings, and that he alone has made, does make, and will make all things. Number 2, I believe with complete faith that the Creator, blessed be his name, is one and alone, that there is no oneness in any way like him, and that he alone is our God, was, is, and will be. Number 3, I believe with complete faith that the Creator, blessed be his name, is incorporeal, that he is free from all anthropomorphic properties, and that he has no likeness at all. Number 4, I believe with complete faith that the Creator, blessed be his name, is the first and the last. Number 5, I believe with complete faith that the Creator, blessed be his name, is the only one to whom it is proper to pray, and that it is inappropriate to pray to anyone else. Number 6, I believe with complete faith that all the words of the prophets are true. Number 7, I believe with complete faith that the prophecy of Moses, our teacher, peace unto him, was true, and that he was the father of the prophets, both of those who preceded and of those who followed him. Number 8, I believe with complete faith that he wrote Torah, which we now possess, was given to Moses, our teacher, peace unto him. Number 9, I believe with complete faith that this Torah will not be changed, and that there will be no other Torah given by the Creator, blessed be his name. Number 10, I believe with complete faith that the Creator, blessed be his name, knows all the deeds and thoughts of human beings. As it is said, it is he who fashions the hearts of them all, he who perceives all their actions. And that's referred to in Psalm 33, verse 15. Number 11, I believe with complete faith that the Creator, blessed be his name, rewards those who observe his commandments and punishes those who transgress his commandments. Number 12, I believe with complete faith in the coming of Mashiach, and although he may tarry, nevertheless I wait every day for him to come. Number 13, I believe with complete faith that there will be resurrection of the dead at the time when it will be the will of the Creator. Blessed be his name, and exalted be his remembrance forever and ever. And just to end off with here, it says the foundation of all foundations and basic principles of the Torah and the pillar of all wisdom is to know that there is a first being who brings every existing thing into being. All existing things in heaven, on earth, and what is between them came into being only from his true existence. If it should enter one's mind that he does not exist, no other thing could have any existence. And that comes from the Mishnah Torah, Yesodi HaTorah 1, 1-2. I like that last bit. I'll read it again. If it should enter one's mind that he does not exist, no other thing could have any existence. I think that's the best one-line explanation I have read. It does say it all, doesn't it? Now, bear in mind that I will put links in the description box below. I do apologise if I've been a bit rickety today, starting and stopping, but I'm competing with the humidity and heat, and I've got a cat down at lying on one foot and the dog kind of lying on the other foot and tapping at my knee. So I've got some helpers here today, but never mind. I do hope that this has answered the question that was posed, and that it gives you something to hold on to that is faith-based and based upon the Torah. So the 13 principles of faith, they are important. Thank you once again for your comments. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for viewing this video and all the kind comments. And I do get quite a few emails, and I may take a little time to get to answer them all, but I try to answer them in order of what appears to be priority of importance. Once again, thank you all. Please take care and God bless.